Hello, my dear Max friends. A new era has started at Max Tourism after the pandemic, and we think that new times are also new opportunities. And that's why we have signed an agreement with a new DMC called Maximize Events Group. Today, we will have a nice conversation with Juan Miguel Caldentey, who is managing partner at Maximize Events Group. He was born in Palma de Mallorca and stemming from a family with a strong touristic tradition. He brings that valuable touch of Mallorcan passion to the company. Hello, Juan Miguel.
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you, Aleska.
Same here. Nice to see you again. It's a pleasure having you with us today and explore together the world of events. To start the interview, please tell us a bit more about your professional path before starting Maximize.
Yeah, sure, no problem at all. My pleasure. First of all, I would like to say something regarding your introduction. You were saying that one of my key points in our company, Maximize Events, is the Mallorcan passion that I put into the company. But it's the Spanish passion, because remember that Maximize is all over Spain. So, and this is really very important. It's not only about the Mallorcan passion, which is a lot, it's the Spanish passion.
Yes.
Right. So what I was doing before starting this DMC, this adventure, as you said, I belong to a very strong touristic family. You know that Mallorca, it's very, I was born in Mallorca, I live in Mallorca, and I was raised in Mallorca, though I was studying and living in different countries. But Mallorca is the place where most of the main important hotel chains were born. They belong to Mallorcan families, Melia, Iberostar, Barcelona, etc., etc., etc. So I was studying. I was developing my studies in all related and focused to be in the hotel business, and so I did. I was studying hotel management. I was living in Indonesia, in Germany, etc., etc. And I was working in hotels, but after 3 years, I saw that I wanted to do my own and to develop my own projects and businesses. So this is what I did. First of all, I started with a restaurant chain. I had 3 restaurants and a catering during 10 years. And there is where I met my business partner, Markus Muller from Germany. He was coming as a client with a lot of groups. And I was saying, he's living very well, much better than I'm living in the restaurants. And we were talking, and we decided to open our DMC. So my background is all related with the hotel management and the food and beverage in general.
Okay, sounds really interesting.
It did help me a lot. It did help me a lot, as you can imagine, because it's very much really very important to have that knowledge.
Of course, and coming from a family that has been working in the hotel business and running your own restaurant, at the end of the day, in your actual job, you are always dealing with different providers from the tourism industry and the hospitality industry.
Definitely,
so
definitely, it's an advantage.
Yes.
This is an advantage. Yes. Definitely.
So, what exactly is Maximize Events Group, and how did you come up with the idea of creating it in 2007?
Maximize Events Group, it's a DMC incoming. It has, as you said, we started the idea. We started the idea in 2007, and we did our first event. Our first group was in 2008. My business partner, Markus Muller, he is coming from already. He was working at this on a DMC for TUI Ultramar, and I was working in the hotel industry and the gastronomy industry, in the hotel industry. So we decided to put this in common. Plus the advantage that I was local. I was born here in Mallorca and having all the contacts, which are very important in this business, because our first idea was to do this DMC only for Mallorca. But after the time, clients were asking, could you please do this event also for me in Ibiza? Plus. We start in 2008, Marcus and myself. And today, well, before pandemic, we were 40 employees and with 10 local offices, because we developed office in Ibiza, office in Valencia, etc. But I think we're going to talk about this
Yes,
afterwards.
exactly. Yes.
So MAXimice has two main departments. It's a one MICE department with 23 project managers, corporate events, and then the automotive. We do a lot of car launches and press events, TTT, CLT, etc. So this is basically what we are.
Okay.
Product is a DMC.
What is exactly your role within the company?
I am managing partner. We are a company that is run and managed by the two founders, Marcus and myself, and we divided a little bit the areas. So in my case, I am the person in charge of the sales. He's in charge of marketing. I am in charge of what is related with financial, accounting, etc., etc. My partner is in charge of IT. And mainly all what is related with the events coming from English spoken events. We would say in this case, UK, Belgium, Holland, etc., etc. Scandinavia, of course. But of course, but it's very important also to say something. We both on our organigram, we are the two CEOs, founder and CEOs and managing partners. We're very everyday working in the company, but we have a second line of GMs, of heads of. We have head of MICE, head of automotive, head of IT, head of marketing and sales, head of accounting. So this is giving a huge professionality to the company. Huge professionality, but also the possibility that all the project managers are very much focused on the event without thinking that this is a very big DMC that is not taking care very directly and personally to the clients. Not at all. We are so much close to the clients thanks to those departments, how divided is the company. Yeah. So my role in the company is manage it together with my partner.
Okay. So, but as I can see, the company is very well structured and organized.
It is. This was our. I'm going to be honest to you. Like 4 or 5 years ago, I would say, 4, 5, 6 ago, we were exhausted. My partner and myself, we were absolutely exhausted. We had so much business, so much work. We were so much committed with our professionality and how good to be. You know, this is a business that you cannot make a mistake. If you do one mistake, then you lose the client or you lose the supplier, which is like if it was a second client. So at that point, we said, listen, we need to do something in order to develop the company on a sustainable way, which will also be sustainable for you and I, for both, you know. And this is a life experience.
Yeah.
And so we said, if we don't do that, we're gonna break our brains and we break our lives because we had so much work. So that's why we decided to structure the company. And honestly, it was the best thing we did. So we have a very well structured company, and that's why it's developing so well and so fast, and in any of the different offices.
Okay, very good. I would like to know, why did you decide to promote yourself more intensively in the Scandinavian market through MAXtourism?
So, well, this is a very good question. The main important thing is that since now, when we see the map of our clients, where do they come from? We can see that we have a lot of clients coming from UK, coming from Germany, which is the main market, USA, Mexico, etc., etc. But we saw, I'm talking about before pandemic, we saw that our percentage coming from Scandinavia was not that high. It was just 10%, right? We're talking about that we do 160 events, corporate events per year. So it was only 16, 16, which was not that much. But this is very interesting. We saw that in comparing to the other nationalities, when you work with a Scandinavian client, you send and you receive 20% of the mails that you need for another client in another country. Yep. And this is huge value huge value. I mean, one project manager needs 200 mails or 300 mails to do one event in another destination for another country. But with the Scandinavians, you just need 60 or 40. And this, it's really important. Thinking about time, it's so important at that time. This was the first point. Scandinavian people are clear, are fast, are direct, are polite, they have very good manners, and they have a lot of respect, and they don't shout, which is very important. Easygoing. This was the main reason. Of course, they are very good clients. They pay well, they understand what the prices are, and they don't like to handle constantly. Of course, if you want to have the quality, you need to pay for the quality. This is true. And the second point is because I remember I met you, Valeska, like 10 years ago on a show. And I remember with how much passion, with how much passion you came to talk to us because of that. And I was telling you, yeah, but you are staying physically in Barcelona. So this is something I don't understand. I have no clue. But now with the time I understood that I was wrong. And you perfectly can do your business and organize and really develop the clientele for maximize staying in Barcelona. So then when we saw that when our statistics, I directly came to my mind the thoughts or the remember I had from you 10 years ago, and I say, Valeska, let's contact her.
You know, it's very interesting because you mentioned different things. The thing about, we were talking in January 2020, you called me and you asked me, would you like to work for us? And I said, well, I already have a DMC, but you never know. Right. Let's talk in a couple of months if things change. And then the world changed, the entire world changed. And that's when we started talking again. And finally, last year in September, we started our collaboration. We had to stop it. And now we are again 100% back
in business.
Back in business. And also, it's very interesting what you say about the Scandinavians, and that within 20% of the emails, the work is done, because that is really efficiency. And also, Spain has always been a very attractive destination for Scandinavians. First of all, because of the sun hours and the mild climate. Second, because we had fantastic flight connections from Scandinavia to Spain. We have been researching on the flight connections for this winter. Obviously now it's still very slow, but the previews for next spring and summer, as far as I could hear and read, will get slowly back to what it was before. And I'm very confident about my business model. I'm very confident about the Scandinavians traveling again. I have been talking a lot to Scandinavians lately, and they all say that business as well is really picking up.
Yeah, and, definitely.
So I know it's coming.
That's true. I'm sure about that. I'm sure about that. Actually, I have to tell you something. We, for example, at Maximize, we are right now 17 people working, 17, which is a lot of people working on a DMC. Okay, we were 40 people before pandemic. During the pandemic, of course, 5, 6, 7, no, 17, no, we are 20 people working right now at Maximize, which is a lot. I can warrant you. Sorry to say it like that, but being in terms of amount of project manager or employees, we're the biggest DMC in Spain. But please, don't take it wrong. Not because we are the biggest DMC, we don't take so much care and very personalized work with the clients. What I told you before about the organigram, where we do have our heads off, and this is going down to the project managers, it's so important. Project managers are just 100% working on the event because they don't need, we have an IT department just in case the computer doesn't work or the telephone. We have financial and controlling and accounting to do the how do you call all the invoices, etc. We have a huge system which is including the CRM, the accounting, financial, etc., etc. Actually, we did invest a lot during this pandemic to make the efficiency, what you said before, exactly this.
Very important. Very important. And we never have time. Usually before the pandemic, we had so much work with everyday work and grouping and operating groups that we had no time for this. But now I think was the moment to invest in systems that can help you to be more efficient.
My business partner, Marcus, and myself, we were, I would say, like, I don't even know the word in Spanish. We were like absolutely thinking and focusing two things during this pandemic. First one, the most important, is the waste of energy of the team members that were working. Don't waste energy where it is not needed, because the waste of energy, mindly energy, that we were having just because the pandemic, it was so huge. So imagine if you add some waste of energy to that waste of energy that you already have.
Exactly.
This was one thing. And the other one was, okay, so because we have that time in which we don't receive requests, in which we cannot do the events, let's invest in the company. Fortunately, Maximize, it is a strong company. We didn't need to ask any money to the banks, never, not even during the pandemic. We are a very strong company, which is giving a lot of support, a lot of security to the clients. We are financially independent, absolutely. So, and this is very important today because the circumstances. So, as I said, we did invest in systems and in programs and in developing the company according to the circumstances that we have today and the waste of energy. This is what we were working during the pandemic.
Good. Excellent. How has Spain evolved during the pandemic, and how prepared are we to receive MICE groups?
Spain had a lot of up and down moments during the pandemic. So many. Still, moments in where the different governments are saying, because the central government is not deciding for the whole country. The communities themselves are deciding certain points for each, for the citizens in that place. Right now, we have the situation that Spain is absolutely open and there are no restrictions at all. Actually, even nightlife is open, concerts, everything is already working. So, in my opinion, the pandemic brought two things. The first one is that cleaned a little bit those business, restaurants, venues that they didn't have the quality enough to resist, the background enough in terms of financial background, and they were not working with quality, so it did it clean. Many people did invest in new venues, new hotels, etc. You cannot imagine how much in hotels it's been invested. And so the consequence is that we have so many new venues and so many new hotels all over Spain, all over. And that also the companies that we work on, for example, Maximize, were very much ready to receive the clients. Actually, Maximize, during this autumn, we are doing almost 20 groups, actually some of them together with you, and we're very proud of that because some of the groups are 500 people, 300 people. So this means that we're ready. And not only, all over Spain, we're working in Ibiza, Mallorca, in Madrid, in Barcelona, in Marbella, in our different offices.
Great. I'm so happy to hear that. What do you think are the advantages of celebrating events in Spain?
Advantages to celebrate an event in Spain is not what the people think, because people think usually in weather, in gastronomy, in connections, which are very important. Yeah, definitely. Those 3 points are main. But in my opinion, it's the professionality of the people working in this business. I'm not only talking about Maximize, which I believe or I think that we work or we try to work as much professional as we can. I know some of our concurrents and they work very well as well. So we have to say, or I wouldn't be fair if I don't say that maximize. I mean that the mice business or the people working in the mice sector, they are very much professional all over. And in my point of view, this is the most important thing, as well as in hotels. Hotels, we bring the flag, we lead the developing of the service in Europe. I would say even in the world, in Spain, especially actually in Mallorca, because all those huge companies. And so I would say that the main important thing is the professionality plus the value for money. If you work with a good DMC, which today is so important because managers of hotels have changed, properties have changed, chefs of restaurants have changed. So you really need to be very much inside to know what's going on, because maybe one client would come and say, bring me to that restaurant. I remember I went there. Yeah, but maybe the chef is not there and the property's another one. So this value for money, as I say, the professionality, and this professionality is what is bringing this knowledge today. We directly go every day to study how the situations are in every supplier. What does a client buy at the end? Trust, budget control, efficiency, and speedness. Of course, sun, gastronomy, of course, good connections, and of course the knowledge. But those four things, and this is our mandatory things. So that's why I would say, yeah.
So you were talking about the confirmed groups in autumn. So how does the preview look like for next year, for 2022?
It doesn't look bad according to the circumstances. I mean, for us to have 20 groups this year in autumn is to have 50% of what we're usually having in any of the years in autumn. But so very happy with that. Also because the project managers are also in the first line. We are, me myself as well. We are in the first line. Remember that we are like butlers for big events. So butlers, we have the service on our blood, and that's why we do that business. So this is very good. I'm thinking on next year. It is I don't know exactly the number, or I know, but maybe it's not good to say it. But I mean, we're happy with what we have according to the circumstances. Requests are back, and though we had so many requests before this fifth wave, it came down a little bit. It came down, and now it's recovering. But the good thing, or what I would say, is that the events which are the requests which are coming for next year are real, very real. I mean, the average of confirmation is very high. It's not people asking for, we're gonna ask and see what they can tell me, whatever. No, real requests, and this is the good thing about that. So happy with what is coming.
Very good. As a leading DMC in Spain, what do you do in terms of social responsibility?
Key question. This is very important yesterday, really very important. We have a department in marketing and sales, which is also taking care of that. Our colleague there, Anna, is really very much focused on those terms, not only in what is related with sustainability, which very much, and especially with many clients that they ask things which are today obvious, like not using plastic or saving water, etc., etc., etc. But where we put our focus, it's in the people. MAXimice, it is a company which been, since the very first day, it's been developed by the human resources. We think that if an employee, someone working at MAXimice, grows up as like a professional, the company grows. So this is what we did since the very beginning. Now, how we do that? For us to work from home doesn't belong to the COVID pandemic. Something that we've been doing since many, many years. And we really take so much care about that the people can put the balance in between the personal life and the professional life. So the main thing that we do in terms of social responsibility is to take care about our people, which is not only our employees, it's also our suppliers, our colleagues, our partners like you are, etc., 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 etc. But mainly take care of our employees.
Okay. I think this is the only way to go.
Yes.
Well,
I think probably that's why we did develop that match. Remember that at the beginning we were 2 people in 2008, 2007, 2 people working. Today we are 10 offices. We are 40 people now, 35 after pandemic. And you cannot grow up a DMC, which is so much stressful. Remember, if you look at Google, the most stressful professions, number 3 or number 4 is event planner. So you cannot do that if you don't take care of the mind and the people. And I really know what I'm saying. So this is how it is.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Juan Miguel, thank you so much for this nice interview and opening your imaginary doors to all our viewers. We are very excited to see what will bring us the future, especially since we have already received 8 requests for maximice for Spain since June. And hopefully there will be many more to come, as we love to show our Scandinavian clients the best of our country and create unique experiences for all of them. Remember that maximice has 10 local offices in Spain to give support with their local project managers and their knowledge. This is now more than ever very important. So now, cheers to a nice collaboration.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, Valeska. And thank you very much for being always so friendly and so much smiley.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Cheers.
Good luck. Cheers.
So thank you, everybody, for watching this interview. We hope that you have enjoyed it. And see you very soon again. Bye.